Now let us follow the core respiratory pathway, and which is common for both aerobic and anaerobic respiration, that is glycolysis. And here the 2G3P molecules undergo oxidation process, and oxidation catalyzed by dehydrogenase, and during oxidation here electrons and protons get liberated from the substrate molecule, and they are received by a coenzyme, that is NAD plus, receive that electrons and protons and reduce it to NADH. So, the energy liberated in the form of electrons and protons by the substrate molecules due to oxidation process, and they are received by a coenzyme, that is NAD plus, and reduced to NADH. And here for 2 molecules of G3P, we expect 2 molecules of NADH as the energetics during oxidation step that occur during glycolysis. And this is the first oxidation during either anaerobic respiration or aerobic respiration, and which occur during glycolysis. And the energetics formed during oxidation are 2 NADH2 molecules. Okay? And now coming to the product of oxidation, that is 2 molecules of biphosphoglyceric acids, which are formed by the oxidation of 2 molecules of G3P. So, what is the substrate for oxidation in glycolytic pathway? G3P molecule. Is DHAP is the substrate for oxidation? No. And even the DHAP also isomerized and converted into G3P. So, for 1 glucose, we consider 2 G3P molecules undergo oxidation step, 2 oxidation reactions we consider, and further the energetics formed are 2 NADH molecules. Okay? And now the 2 molecules of biphosphoglyceric acid undergo substrate level phosphorylation. Actually, phosphorylation means synthesis of ATP, and in photosynthesis we followed ATP formation is by coupling ADP and pi, and where the energy supplied based on chemiosmotic hypothesis due to electron transport and proton translocation. Okay? But here, and there is no electron transport and proton translocation, and the substrate itself donate that inorganic phosphate to couple with ADP, and so direct synthesis of ATP molecule here we observed in the cytoplasm, that is during glycolysis. So, it is considered as substrate level phosphorylation, and from the substrate directly phosphate molecule available to the ADP molecule, and coupling of ADP and pi and synthesis of ATP occur, and there is no electron transport and proton translocation such mechanisms. So, we do not apply Peter-Michel chemiosmotic theory here. It is direct synthesis of ATP by coupling ADP and pi, and that inorganic phosphate and energy supplied by the substrate. So, this kind of phosphorylation is called substrate level phosphorylation, and this is the first substrate level phosphorylation reaction that yield 2 ATP molecules, because here 2 biphosphoglyceric acid molecules converted into 2 molecules of phosphoglyceric acid, and so here the inorganic phosphates liberated from the substrate, and by the time it convert into simply phosphoglyceric acid, and that inorganic phosphates utilized for the synthesis of 2 ATP, and direct synthesis of ATP considered as SLP, substrate level phosphorylation. Okay? So, as a result of SLP1, 2 ATP molecules as energetics added to cytosol, and now the 2 molecules of 3 phosphoglyceric acid and now undergo intramolecular shift, mean the phosphate present on the 3rd carbon of phosphoglyceric acid now shifted to 2nd carbon of phosphoglyceric acid. So, now the conversion of 3 phosphoglyceric acid molecules into 2 phosphoglyceric acid molecules due to the shifting of phosphate within the molecule known as intramolecular shift, and we may consider it is a kind of isomerization also, and it is a kind of positional isomerization. Intramolecular shift is considered as a type of positional isomerization and catalyzed by phosphoglyceromutase. Now, the 2 molecules of that 2 phosphoglyceric acid undergo dehydration process, and 2 water molecules evolved here by an enzyme called enolase and converts into 2 molecules of phosphoenol pyruvic acid. Now, that 2 molecules of phosphoenol pyruvate undergo the last step, that is again substrate level phosphorylation, and this is substrate level phosphorylation 2 that yield 2 ATP molecules, and finally 2 molecules of pyruvic acid are formed. So, as we follow this series of biochemical reactions, totally 10 reactions are there. Now, let us take a glance on glycolysis and the 10 reactions that occur during glycolytic pathway, and totally 10 reactions we followed, and we have to remember the sequence also, and that include phosphorylation, isomerization, phosphorylation, cleavage, isomerization and oxidation, and substrate level phosphorylation 1, intramolecular shift, dehydration and substrate level phosphorylation 2. As we analyze that 10 biochemical reactions, totally how many oxidations are there? Only one oxidation. How many SLP reactions or substrate level phosphorylations are there? 2 SLP reactions are there. What is the energetic formed during oxidation? For 1 glucose we consider 2 G3P, so that 2 NADH molecules. And how many ATP are formed during SLP1? 2 ATP molecules. And what are the energetics and how many during SLP2? And here also 2 more ATP molecules. So, these are the particular reactions during glycolytic pathway where the energy hidden in the substrate molecule get liberated, okay, and is used in the formation of the energetics, that is NADH2 and ATP molecules. For 1 glucose we consider 2 NADH formed during oxidation step, and totally 4 ATP molecules synthesized during 2 SLP reactions, that is SLP1 and SLP2. That is about energetics. And here as we verified, and there is no evolution of carbon dioxide anywhere we observed. So, and during glycolysis there is no evolution of carbon dioxide and only one oxidation step is involved, and it is independent of oxygen and it do not require presence of oxygen, occur either in presence or absence of oxygen and independent of oxygen. And here 2 phosphorylation reactions in glycolysis, what they explain? 2 ATP molecules are utilized during glycolysis. Before undergoing cleavage, the substrate molecule glucose is phosphorylated, consuming 2 ATP molecules into fructose 1,6-bios-phosphate. So, totally as we follow the energetics of glycolytic pathway, 1 glucose involved in glycolytic pathway and split into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. By the time 1 oxidation, 2 SLPs and 2 phosphorylations we followed. 2 phosphorylations utilized 2 ATP molecules, 1 oxidation yield 2 NADH molecules, and 2 SLP reactions yield 4 ATP molecules. But as 4 ATP molecules added to cytoplasm we expect, but before going to cleavage and 2 ATP molecules utilized. So, 4 are produced and 2 are already utilized. So, the net gain of ATP molecules is 2 ATP. Okay. With this explanation we can follow with an equation. Students, as we summarize that glycolytic pathway, 1 glucose molecule which is a 6 carbon compound now splits into 2 molecules of 3 carbon compounds, that is pyruvic acid, while liberating energy which is packed in the form of 2 NADH molecules and also the formation of 4 ATP molecules we observed. And during the process, a series of biochemical reactions, total 10 biochemical reactions we followed, that include 1 oxidation step, 2 phosphorylations and 2 dephosphorylations, that is SLP reactions, and cleavage is there, isomerization is there, and apart from that we observed there is no carbon dioxide evolution, CO2 is not evolved, and there is no utilization of oxygen. Oxygen is not utilized, and glycolysis include only 1 oxidation step. Okay. So, now during that oxidation step we followed 2 NADH molecules as energetics formed, and in addition direct synthesis of 4 ATP molecules by SLP reactions we observed. Now, let us follow the balance sheet for glycolysis of 1 glucose molecule, 4 ATP totally formed by the end of glycolysis by SLP, and but 2 ATP molecules earlierly utilized for the conversion of glucose into fructose 1,6 biphosphate to undergo cleavage. So totally we may consider the net gain 2 ATP molecules as well as 2 NADH2 formed during oxidation step. So the net gain for one glucose during glycolytic pathway we consider 2 ATP added to cytosol net gain. 4 formed but 2 utilized now. So totally we get only 2 ATP molecules as net gain which are added to cytosol. But whereas 2 NADH molecules formed during oxidation process later may involved in electron transport system and involved in oxidative phosphorylation that occur in mitochondria and contribute few more ATP molecules for the cell. Okay? And with this we completed glycolysis as one glucose molecule undergo oxidation and further broken down into 2 molecules of 3 carbon compound, that is pyruvic acid. Okay? Now the destiny of pyruvic acid we will discuss further. Now let us follow fermentation process. Fermentation is exclusive for anaerobic respiration. We may consider fermentation as anaerobic respiration. Okay? But as we followed, and any kind of respiration start with glycolysis. So anaerobic respiration also start with glycolysis. Already we discussed the glycolysis, what happened during glycolysis, what are the energetics formed and all. And here now let us continue what is the fate of that pyruvic acid in anaerobic conditions, that is during anaerobic respiration. So now we are going to discuss about the fate of pyruvic acid molecules which are added to the cytoplasm as a result of glycolytic pathway in anaerobic organisms that perform anaerobic respiration, as we take the examples, that is yeast as well as lactic acid bacillus, a kind of anaerobic bacteria involved in curdling of milk. Okay? So now let us see, and next to glycolysis in anaerobic organisms there is an exclusive process, that is exclusive step called fermentation takes place. And fermentation and anaerobic respiration are synonymous, we can refer, because fermentation is exclusive and occur only during anaerobic respiration and performed by anaerobic microbes. Okay? Now, and in anaerobic respiration there is no involvement of oxygen, and moreover oxygen presence is not at all required. And anaerobic respiration of course may start with glycolysis and continued by fermentation, and fermentation also occur in cytosol. So what is the venue of fermentation? That occur in cytosol. Fermentation also occur in cytosol. So we can conclude the total process of anaerobic respiration occur in cytoplasm, that is cytosol, and there is no role of mitochondria in anaerobic respiration. Even yeast, which is a eukaryote, bear mitochondria, but mitochondria are not at all involved in anaerobic respiration. Yeast majorly perform anaerobic respiration. At that time there is no role of mitochondria because anaerobic respiration totally occur in cytoplasm we followed, and with glycolysis and fermentation. Now let us see what happened during fermentation, and here based on the end products formed during fermentation there are different types of fermentations, and here we mentioned alcoholic fermentation which is performed by yeast, and lactic acid fermentation which is performed by lactic acid bacillus, that is lab. Okay? But apart from that, may you heard about acetic acid, citric acid, and such kind of acids are also the products of anaerobic fermentation process, that is anaerobic respiration performed by various organisms. So the end product of fermentation is decided by the enzymes involved in fermentation process, which is finally decided by the microbes involved in fermentation. So different types of fermentations are there, and based on the end product we follow, like alcoholic fermentation, lactic acid fermentation, acetic acid fermentation, etc. And that variation in the end products of fermentation process is decided by the enzymes involved in fermentation, and that is based on the microbes involved. Okay? So as the organisms, and they bear different kinds of enzymes involved in fermentation and may produce different products. Now let us verify this information as we follow a comparison between alcoholic fermentation and lactic acid fermentation. And before going to the comparison, And let us see what happened during alcoholic fermentation, which is performed by yeast. And here glucose, the simple respiratory substrate that start anaerobic respiration, okay, and perform glycolytic pathway there in the cytosol, and end of glycolysis, that glucose split into two molecules of pyruvic acid, and the energetics added to cytosol to NADH molecules. Of course 4 ATP by SLP also added, but among the 4 ATP by SLP already we followed 2 ATP molecules are utilized, so only 2 ATP molecules as net gain added by glycolysis. 2 ATP as net gain. And now this glucose molecule, if undergo anaerobic respiration, that is fermentation, then and there in the cytoplasm itself these pyruvic acid molecules involved in fermentation, that is without utilizing oxygen or maybe in the absence of oxygen in anaerobic conditions in the microbe yeast, and these two molecules of pyruvic acid now involved in fermentation process, which is exclusive for anaerobic respiration. And there in alcoholic fermentation, the two molecules of pyruvic acid first undergo decarboxylation in presence of the enzyme pyruvate decarboxylase and evolve two molecules of carbon dioxide and form the product 2 molecules of acetaldehyde, which are 2 carbon compounds. And this 2 carbon compound acetaldehyde, now the substrate for the second step of fermentation, that is reduction here. So 2 molecules of acetaldehyde undergo reduction in presence of the enzyme alcoholic dehydrogenase, and here utilize the reducing power, that is 2 molecules of NADH, and finally converted into 2 molecules of ethyl alcohol. And ethyl alcohol is a 2 carbon compound, you know. So here conversion of 2 molecules of acetaldehyde into 2 molecules of ethyl alcohol by the step called reduction, the second step in alcoholic fermentation, and catalyzed by the enzyme alcoholic dehydrogenase, and the reducing power utilized is 2 molecules of NADH. But now let us follow what is the source for these 2 NADH molecules. Where from this microbe get, yeast get the 2 molecules of NADH for this alcoholic fermentation, and that is for reduction process in alcoholic fermentation. It is nothing but the molecules added during glycolysis. The 2 molecules of NADH formed during glycolysis already added to cytosol, and they are utilized during reduction process. Okay, whatever that 2 ATP as net gain, no, which are added to cytosol during glycolysis, and that is the net gain of ATP molecules if one glucose undergo anaerobic respiration in yeast cells we consider. So, as we discussed the energetics, if one glucose molecule undergo anaerobic respiration, and for example in the yeast cells, finally what are the energy molecules added to cytosol? 2 ATP molecules as net gain added to cytosol. Whatever the 2 NADH formed during glycolytic pathway, they are further utilized during reduction process of fermentation. Okay, so no balance of NADH. 2 are formed during glycolysis, 2 utilized during fermentation, that is during reduction process. But whatever that 2 ATP as net gain added to cytosol at the time of glycolysis, that is the net gain for one glucose involved in anaerobic respiration in yeast cells. Okay. Now let us discuss the other type of fermentation, that is lactic acid fermentation, which is performed by lactic acid bacillus, a kind of rod shaped bacteria. You know, lab involved in curdling of milk, and here how lactic acid fermentation performed, let us see. And here also the simple substrate glucose molecule undergo glycolysis. No doubt glycolysis is common and yield 2 ATP as net gain, 2 ATP as net gain added to cytosol, and 2 NADH molecules added to cytosol, and glucose split into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. Now these 2 molecules of pyruvic acid undergo lactic acid fermentation by lab we are following, and the 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, which are 3 carbon compounds, during lactic acid fermentation performed by lab directly undergo reduction. There is no decarboxylation here, and fermentation is directly by reduction process. So now, and in lactic acid fermentation we observe a single step, that is reduction. Reduction of 2 molecules of pyruvic acid by utilizing the reducing power 2 molecules of NADH in presence of the enzyme lactic dehydrogenase convert into 2 molecules of lactic acid. And of course lactic acid is a 3-carbon compound. Here pyruvic acid undergo reduction and directly form lactic acid molecules and without decarboxylation. Okay. So lactic acid fermentation, of course it's a kind of anaerobic respiration performed by lab, and initially glycolysis is there and 2 ATP as net gain added to cytosol, 2 NADH molecules already added to cytosol, and the 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, the end product of glycolysis, undergo lactic acid fermentation, anaerobic respiration in lab, directly undergo reduction, no decarboxylation, while utilizing the reducing power NADH, and the source for that NADH is again the same, that is glycolytic NADH, and they are only utilized during reduction process. Here the enzyme catalyze the process is lactic dehydrogenase, finally 2 molecules of lactic acid and no decarboxylation. Okay. So now as we summarize that anaerobic respiration performed by yeast, that is fermentation in yeast and fermentation in lab. First let us summarize fermentation in yeast. 2 molecules of pyruvic acid undergo decarboxylation as well as reduction and converts into 2 molecules of ethyl alcohol, okay, while evolving 2 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 2 molecules of ATP as net gain. And there is no balance of NADH2 because 2 are synthesized during glycolysis and utilized during reduction. Okay. So as we summarize that anaerobic respiration, that is fermentation, and that is alcoholic fermentation performed by yeast, and for 1 glucose involved in alcoholic fermentation by yeast cells split into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. The 2 molecules of pyruvic acid while utilizing 2 NADH in presence of the enzyme alcoholic dehydrogenase and with decarboxylation process finally produce 2 molecules of ethyl alcohol and 2 molecules of carbon dioxide and 2 ATP molecules as net gain. Okay. Now coming to lactic acid fermentation, as we summarize, 1 glucose molecule into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid here also, but in lab in lactic acid bacillus during lactic acid fermentation there is no decarboxylation. The 3-carbon compounds pyruvic acid directly undergo reduction while utilizing the reducing power NADH and convert into 2 molecules of lactic acid, which are 3-carbon compounds because of no decarboxylation, and 2 ATP molecules as net gain here also. Whatever the NADH formed during glycolysis, they are utilized during reduction process. So here the difference of fermentation steps is due to enzymes involved. Here this is alcoholic dehydrogenase reduce acetaldehyde into ethyl alcohol 2-carbon compound. But here pyruvic acid directly undergo reduction and performed by lactic dehydrogenase and convert into lactic acid. So the end product of fermentation depend on the enzymes involved in reduction, and the enzymes depend on the microbes or the organisms involved in fermentation. So now all of you may clearly follow what is the difference between lactic acid fermentation and alcoholic fermentation. Alcoholic fermentation by decarboxylation, okay, and the product is a 2-carbon compound ethyl alcohol while evolving carbon dioxide. And whereas lactic acid fermentation is without decarboxylation, direct reduction, so the end product is a 3-carbon compound and no evolution of carbon dioxide. Now students, simply I ask an application question. May you follow bread making and curdling of milk, the dough raised into bread and the milk converted into curd, and during which process you observe formation of holes and made the structures porous. Of course, obviously it is bread making and raising dough, and the bread is porous and spongy, that is due to evolution of carbon dioxide during alcoholic fermentation performed by yeast. So as yeast is involved in bread making and that fermentation is by the evolution of carbon dioxide, so that dough raised and that is spongy and porous due to evolution of carbon dioxide performed by yeast. But whereas curdling of milk, is there any porous nature or holes observed in curd? No. And because there is no evolution of carbon dioxide during lactic acid fermentation performed by lab. So the bacteria involved in curd making, conversion of milk to curd, it perform lactic acid fermentation without decarboxylation. So there is no evolution of carbon dioxide. Okay, and that is the difference between alcoholic fermentation and lactic acid fermentation.